my criteria D for my computer science IA. My first success criteria is that my website should have a homepage with all the products presented as cards. And as we could see on the right, all the products are presented as cards with the image, name of the product and price, etc. And yeah, and it should also have descriptions of each of the products, like the quality of the book, how old it is, and IBN number. And because all of these fields basically depend on what book I would buy, I basically just have sample text where the text would go, and this would be up to my client, and which she's supposed to change depending on what book. And the value of this could be changed through the Commerce.js API, which could be seen here. And the client basically just has to log into this API and fill out all the necessary fields and click on Save Changes. And after she does that, it would get updated on my website and it would change the value of this. My next one is that my website should have a cart system where the user could add items which they want to buy. And to do that, I have icon buttons at the bottom right of every product, which the user could click to add to cart. And to just show that it works, if I go to the cart first, it says that no items are added. But now if you go back and, for example, add JavaScript and click on the button and go to the cart, we see that it adds JavaScript with the price. And yeah. My next one is that it should show the total price of the order before payment. And this is right here with which just states subtotal 10 euros, because the only thing we have is one JavaScript which is worth 10 euros. It should also the user should also be able to increment, decrement the product quantity as well as remove products. So if I want 2 JavaScript books, I could just click on the plus, and if I wait and refresh, here the quantity updates to 2, and it also increases the price, which also increases the subtotal. And if I want to remove a product, I could just click on remove, and it would remove the product from the cart. And if we just add a couple of books and then go to the cart, we can also remove all the products at once by clicking on empty cart. But if you go into checkout now, our next success criteria is that there should be a functioning progress bar in the checkout stage, and that's basically up here with 1 and 2. And every time the user clicks on the next page, this would get updated and it'll move along. So as we move along through this, if you observe this, this should increment. So the next one is that my website should send an order placed email to the customer after the user has ordered a product. And so if we just fill out all the fields required, and after all the fields are input, I have to click on send email 1 and send email 2, which would send an email to the customer as well as the seller. And if we just click on send email 1, it would notify us that the email was sent successfully. And if we go into the email for this input field, the customer's input field, and refresh, we see that we can email from email.js with the API which I used, and it basically just says thanks for your order. And yeah, and if I click on send email to, this would send an email to the seller. And if we go into the seller's account and refresh, we see that it says an order has been placed by a customer. And to just prove that this works, if I, for example, don't input a certain field and click on send email 1, it'll force the user to fill out a field. Yeah. And if we go to the next page, we get an order summary with all the product names, with the quantity, price, and the total price. And for these 2 success criteria, the application should send a document about the items purchased. This is only if I, as the developer, adds my credit card details to the API, which it didn't. That's why it doesn't have an order summary. That goes, yeah. And that's the same for the success criteria. In order for this to work, I have to add my credit card detail. So my next one is there should be a function online payment system using Stripe.js, and that's basically right here where the user could add a credit card number. And because I didn't insert my actual credit card details, I couldn't really make a full transaction. But there's a sample card provided by Stripe.js, which is just 4242. and if I do that, then it accepts it. There's no errors. But if the user inputs an invalid number, if I just put a random one in, my code detects it and it doesn't allow the user to further input any numbers. And yeah, and if we just click on, if we just input our demo card and click on pay, it takes us to a new page which says your order has been placed, thank you for your purchase, and then a button which takes you back to the home page. And yeah, and the next success criteria is that the whole website should be responsive, and which means it should look decent on any screen dimensions. So if I make it the screen full size, we see that they all still look fine. But if we shrink it to a phone dimension, then it adjusts everything so that all the content is visible on any screen dimensions. And this works for any other page. So for this page, it works here as well. For checkout, it also works here. And yeah, my second last success criteria is there should be a filter algorithm. So like the user could search up any products and see if it exists on the web page, and that could be seen here down below. And here, if the user inputs any name, for example Java, it would filter out any all the book titles which has the word Java. And lastly, my website should be publishable and could be accessed through the internet. And to do that, I used a subdomain provider called Netlify, and it would create this custom link. And if I click on the link, it'll take me to the exact same website, but the URL changes into this from localhost to netlify.app. That's it. Thank you.